Hello, welcome to Educator L's Learning Lounge. My name is Lynn. I am a special education teacher for 4th through 8th grade in a rural school in Missouri. This is just a little peek into my life for this week. If this is your first time, thanks for joining me. If you're returning, thanks as always for coming back. So make sure to check out all the other videos if you haven't seen some of them before. I also try to put some kind of teacher tips in there sometimes. I do a what I wear for the week. I'm not fashionable, friends. It is what it is. So this week is a busy week because we have parent-teacher conferences and student-led conferences this week. So there's 2 nights this week that I have to stay until 6 o'clock at school. One of the nights on Wednesday, I'm actually going to be going to my daughter's parent-teacher conference. So the elementary does it a little bit different than we do over here. And then I also had a PD yesterday. So it's a long week, but we will make it. So thank you so much again for following along. If you would like, please comment, subscribe, follow, hit the notification button, and remember I also have Facebook and Instagram that you can follow. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great week. Alright, well, it is Monday morning. I am in school traffic. Yay! It is hard to get out where I am. Yay, I just got out. I live real close to the entrance of a school, not the school district I teach at, but a different school. So today is a professional development day for my school, so we don't have students. So I'm leaving home a lot later than I usually do because our school day starts at 7:55 usually for school, but our PD day starts at 8. And I know you're going, wait, that's like 5 minutes difference, but I like to be at school earlier on school days. And so our school day, even though our school day doesn't start until 7:55, we have to be there by 7:30. So it is a 30-minute difference, and usually I try to leave the house around 7, and today it's 7:28, and I always forget that if I have to leave just a little bit later, that it makes a huge difference. Leaving at 7:28, like I did this morning, I sat there at the intersection in order to get out for a lot longer than I usually would because of the fact that there were buses coming, there were parent cars coming that were turning into the school district. So it's a lot different, and I always forget. So, but today is going to be, like I said, a professional development day. This morning we have a MAP meeting. We are in Missouri, so our state assessment is called the MAP test. So we will have our mandatory meeting. If you're a teacher, you know you have to have a meeting about it, even though you do the same thing every year. And basically you can only read the script, and that's what we do. So then we have, we're going over some curriculum. The school district is looking at changing up their reading curriculum. I believe they're actually looking at getting a reading curriculum because as far as I know, we do not have a specific reading curriculum. We have a phonics program, but they're looking at doing reading. So I don't know if they're looking at replacing the phonics that they're doing. I doubt it. It's a really good phonics program. I like it. So that's one of the questions I'm going to ask is, are they replacing it, replacing the phonics program? It's going to be a crazy day, and it makes it for a 5-day week. I know everybody else in the world does a 5-day week, but I'm used to 4 days. So, but today will be the Monday, so a 5-day week. And it's parent-teacher conference week and student-led conferences. So, gonna be a long week.
Today's lunch is mystery sandwich, burnt chips, pinto bean cake, mushy fruit, and warm milk. Tomorrow's breakfast is pancakes with syrup. Thank you.
Hello, today is Tuesday. It is April Fool's Day. So we have had fun doing some April Fool's jokes on the kids. So, but I did start my day with doing one for the faculty and staff. So in our workroom, I put a piece of paper out and I used the die cut to cut some letter E's that were brown. So I put some brown E's on the table, but some of our people like to have sugar-free stuff, so I put some with and without sugar. So I just taped packets of sugar on some of the E's. So I thought that would be a nice little funny for the teachers, haha. So then my students, my Para actually made some brownies also for the kids, but she actually got real brownies for them. So I did not do that for the staff. So I'll show you some of the worksheets that we are doing today for April Fool's Day. So this one says spring has sprung, and it is a word search. So in here, none of these words are in there. So really there aren't a whole lot of actual words. Like I was able to find like dig, here. There were a couple others that I was able to find some actual words, but most of them don't have actual words. So I had some kids who I had one that was really struggling this morning. He gets very frustrated. So when he wasn't able to find him, I actually pulled him out of class and I said, hey, come here, I need to talk to you for a few minutes. And so I pulled him out and I told him, I said, honey, it's just an April Fool's joke. None of the words are really there. You need to quit stressing out. I said, hey, I all of a sudden came up with the idea because, again, I needed to get him back on track. I said, hey, how about this? Do me a favor. I said, start circling just random things, just random letters, and make the others think that you're doing the words. I said, and just cross off words at the bottom, and then we'll go from there. So he thought that was the funniest thing. So he loved that. So after that, let's see. After that, I had them do these. These are just cute little April Fool mystery puzzles. So they're actually very easy for my students, but it was something just fun and cute. So they had to cut out the puzzle pieces to match the CVC words to the pictures on the grid. When you are finished, the answer to the joke will be revealed. So they're just jokes. So how does the Easter Bunny stay fit? And so you can see so like here's a picture of a sun, here's the word sun, so they'll put it over there. So this one is which fish do pirates love most? So this one they had to match the capital with the lowercase letters, so they put those there. Then this one is just a math one, so again matching the dots with the numbers. So this one is what kind of music do mummies listen to? So they had fun doing that. I'll show you. So this one is what kind of music do mummies listen to? Rap music. And this one is how does the Easter Bunny stay fit? Exercise. And this one clearly didn't actually do theirs very well, but that's okay. And then this one right here, swordfish. So what fish do pirates love the most? Swordfish. So just a fun little activity for them. So let me take you over and I'll show you what we're going to do for math today. So of course I'm going to have the same kids, so they already know it's April Fool's Day, so they're going to be expecting it, but that's okay. Found this cute little math quiz. So there were 227 fish in the pond, 182 fish swam away. How many slices of pizza did I eat for dinner? So haha, obviously you can't answer these questions. Then we're going to do this quiz. This is one of those classics where it says, read all the directions before you begin. And so, of course, I'll tell them they only have like 1 minute to do it. So they're going to see there's so much to do that they're going to start doing them. Well, of course, the last one is, now that you've read each step, only do number 1, then put your pencil down and sit quietly. So again, the hope is that they'll start doing the problems, because I'm going to tell them that this is the April Fool's joke, and then I'm going to say, oh, okay, we're doing the real thing now, so okay, I really need you to do it. Of course, that's not the real thing, because of course it's still a second April Fool's joke. So then we're going to actually do this page, which is the riddle. So why did the coach go to the bank? And it's just a very simple multiplication test or worksheet, and the answer is to get his quarterback. So quarterback, haha. So just doing some fun things in class today for April Fool's Day. It still has the multiplication is something my students are needing to work on. And even though the skills are a little bit lower for my kids on the other worksheets with the riddles, it's fun. It is things that they can review. And obviously I had one that didn't do it right. So it's skills we might still need to work on. So yeah, it's different when it's in special ed. There's a lot of different levels that we have in here. So hopefully the kids have fun with it. And I hope you all did not get tricked on April Fool's Day for anything. And my kids are really having fun with it. So hope you have a great day. And tonight is parent-teacher conferences. So I might get on here if I have time tonight. It's a come and go for us. So most of the time I don't have very many parents come just because of the fact that we have IEP meetings. We're in contact all the time. So I really don't anticipate having anybody come by, but if they want to, they are welcome to come by and I will speak to them. Then on Thursday we have student-led conferences. So today my students went ahead and got their writing folders together. I printed off some of their writings that they've done that are on computer, so that they can show those to their parents. And of course, they'll get to take those home after the conference, or I will send them home if they don't come to the student-led conferences, which again, unfortunately, I don't have a very high turnout for mine, but that's okay. We do what we can. So, all right. Thanks so much for joining me this week. Hope you have a fabulous week. Remember, it's okay if you don't get it all done. Just as much as you can. 30 seconds. Okay. All right. Go ahead and put your pencils down. I can't find mine. What did the directions say at the top? Can you read that for me?
All the numbered steps before you begin reading the directions carefully and do exactly as the paper says.
Okay. Can you read number 14 for me?
Now that you have read each step, only do number 1, then put your pencil down and sit quietly.
April Fools! If you read the directions, you were supposed to read every one of them first, and then all you had to do was the first one, which was to put your name on the paper. April Fools, I love you. How you doing on that word search? Who wants to tell him?
April Fools.
None of
them words are on
None of those words are.
I kept going seeing like random like I saw red like fly.
Hello, today is Wednesday. I am sitting outside my daughter's school. I'm going to do parent-teacher conferences, and I get to be the parent this time. Yay! So I'm just waiting. I think they were doing tutoring before now, so I have an appointment at 4:45, so I just hung around in my classroom and got some stuff done, and then headed over here. And so it was a crazy day today. I had a student who does not want to go to his first hour class, which is fine. It's his choice. He will do his work with me and my para in my classroom, and so that's just the better place for him behavior wise to come in to my room to do it, so that's fine. He is triggered by some of the things that are in the classroom, and so this is the best option for everybody. So he comes to my room first hour and works on his stuff that he needs to work on. And so that does mean that my para and I don't have the freedom to go and do everything that we need to get done in the morning. So we have to take turns. So it's fine. But we get everything we need to done. And then poor kid was so sick today, like just sneezed all over himself and coughing. And so then again with special ed, you have, different kids and everything. And so then my 5th graders went on their DARE graduation today, so I didn't have them. So that was actually a huge, crazy difference because I have 6 of them that come in at once. So that was crazy. So the fact that I didn't have them, it was so weird. And so we just went ahead and did what we were going to do for the day, and then they'll do what we were going to do tomorrow. So it's to do our Word of the Year reflection for 3 months. So I'll have to show that to you guys as well when we're at school. And so they are going to be working on that tomorrow. So I figured the 4th graders might take a little bit longer to do it, which they have been. So I figured when the 5th graders do it tomorrow that the 4th graders hopefully will get done with it. So, and actually a lot of them did, I guess 2 of them did get theirs done. So after that, we had a student who came down who needed to sit in our room and kind of just take a little mental break, and so he did that. And then I had another student who had a little bit of bigger issue, so it was my one that from first hour, and so he just ended up, we called mom and said, hey, he's not in trouble, but he seems to be struggling today. And with him being really sick, I told her, I said, I think he might just, I know when I don't feel good, I don't want to deal with anybody. So I said, I think he might just not be thinking about what he's doing and how he's reacting. And so mom supports the fact that we want him to have a positive environment at school. He's been out of school for a little while, so we just want him to be as successful as possible, and really we're working on behaviors right now. So he ended up having to, mom decided, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and pick him up. So it was fine. He wasn't in trouble. And I even told him, I said, hey, mom's coming to get you, but remember, you are not in trouble. Just wanted to kind of keep reiterating that. And mom even took him for pizza just so that he knew he was not in trouble. And so, because he was very afraid, he's like, but my mom's going to come and pick me up from school and she's going to be upset with me. And I said, no, buddy, that's not the case. Mom understands what's going on. So it's all right. So, and mom did, she took, she was very careful about saying, hey, seems like you just needed to come home, and that's fine. So again, we don't want him doing that all the time, and we're not going to let that be a habit, but today it was a day that needed to do that. So, and that's fine. We got this. We can work it out. So, but yeah, so tomorrow is our next day of conference weeks. So for the middle school, we're doing our student-led conferences tomorrow. So my kids, if they come down to my room, they get to show their parents some of their writing, their progression of their writing. So we have everything from our Christmas Rolla story, we have a Thanksgiving thing, we have something that we did in March, and then we also have some picture prompts. So they get to pick from 5 different options, and I've shown these on some of the other videos, so you can go back and look at those. And so I just have the writing for them, and the way I printed it off is I did, because it's a slideshow, and so I did the slide that they used for the picture, and then the slide where they wrote their information, and I just clicked to only print those 2, and then put print 2 slides per page, so it actually just looks like the pictures at the top and the writings at the bottom. So it's really nice because we were able to put everything in a folder, we hole punched it, and then the kids will be able to take those home with them after the student-led conferences. And anybody who doesn't do that, we'll go ahead and we'll send them home with them on Friday. So it'll be fine. They'll do it and they'll get it done. And I think they're excited because when they were looking back at the stuff that they wrote, they're like, oh my gosh, look at my writing, look at my handwriting. And so they even got to see the progression of that because they didn't know we were doing it. So it's fun, and so we'll see if we have any kids come to student-led conferences. I hope we do for my class, but I don't know. I only had one parent come by on parent-teacher conferences yesterday, so we'll see. It's supposed to be rainy, so I hate that because I know that means a lot of parents will just be like, let's not go. So hopefully they come. hopefully it'll be good. So we shall see, and I will check in with you tomorrow. Hello, it is Friday. I am home. I'm chilling. It has been a very, very long week. We have parent-teacher conferences and student-led conferences. I did something to my wrist at some time during the week. You might have seen that I was wearing a brace on my wrist on a couple of the pictures. It still hurts. The doctor didn't know exactly what happened, so she's just having me wear the brace, ice, heat, and some topical pain medicine and see if it gets better. If not, I have to get an x-ray done next week, and then we'll go from there to see what is going on. So hopefully it gets better soon. It hurts for me to write, to type, to do a lot of stuff if I'm bending and moving my wrist. So I was afraid it might have been carpal tunnel, but she says she doesn't think that's what it is. So that's good, because I really didn't want to have to deal with surgery, even though I know it's not a long surgery. But yeah, it was crazy busy again. We had April Fool's Day in there, so hope you enjoyed all of my April Fool's jokes I pulled on the kids. And just good week and all, just a very busy and exhausting week. So I hope you've all enjoyed coming along with me this week. I know I didn't get on very much, but it was busy, so I apologize, but hope you enjoy this video. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and if you want, you can check me out over on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks so much for joining me here at Educator L's Learning Lounge.